on whom it is binding. So there are conditions. Whomever these conditions are fulfilled in him must attend the Jumu'ah. The number one, Muslim, which means non-Muslims are not allowed to attend. Sheikh, we have non-Muslims in our community who wish to enter the masjid and pray with us. We say this is up to the Imam's own ijtihad and opinion. If the Imam believes that these people are really interested in learning or seeing how Islam is being practiced, no problem in them entering the masjid, but they should remain at the back of the masjid, not engage in the rows. I've seen some people interested in Islam and the Muslims put them and make them stand with them in the row. This is wrong. This is not permissible and it is wrong. He's a non-Muslim, he cannot stand with the Muslims in a row, as he would disconnect that row. It is an obligatory ritual upon males, which means that women, and this means that slaves are not obliged to attend because they require the permission of their masters. And it is mandatory upon those who are sane. So people who have dementia, people who have severe case of Alzheimer, they do not know day from night, they do not recognize their own children or their own close relatives, and they're unable to concentrate or think properly, they are classified as insane, in the meaning, which means that Allah has uplifted the pen so that they're not accountable. It is mandatory upon men who had reached the age of puberty, and it is also important to know that it is mandatory upon residents. So travelers are not obliged to conduct Friday prayers. And we have to clarify this a little bit, because I've seen even among some of the da'is that say that Friday is not mandatory. When we go for a conference, for example, in a foreign country, and it's time for Jumu'ah, I've heard some of the du'at say that Friday is not mandatory upon travelers. And this is an understatement, which unfortunately shows you that not all du'at are scholars, are knowledgeable. Yes, they may have a BA or a master's degree, or sometimes even PhD in Islamic studies. But this does not mean that they are infallible. It doesn't mean that what they say is 100% true. You have to cross-examine everything anyone says, no matter how much. Sheikh Asim, yes, you don't have to go and search and look, because you're a layman. Even if you search, you'll be more confused, and most likely you won't understand what you're reading, because it's not your profession. But if you're a student of knowledge, you have no right in taking what I say for granted, because I'm a human being. I may misunderstand things. I may misquote things. I may make errors. So these da'is, I was with them in one of the countries. It was time for Friday. We didn't have someone to take us to the khutbah. So one of them said, it's not mandatory to pray. And in a sense, he's right, but he's not. And I'll tell you the reason. Scholars all agree that travelers cannot pray Friday prayer. So the da'i's words are correct. No, no, no. Wait, I'll explain to you. What do they mean by this? What is their consensus on? They say that if we are a group of a traveler, of travelers, if we are nomads, so we are 500 people living in tents, moving from one place to the other, looking for grass for our herds to graze. And we're 500. So it is Dhuhr time, it's Friday. Shall we make a Friday? Nope. Oof. Sheikh, we're 500 people. Yes, but you're not residing. Jumu'ah is not to be prayed except by those who reside. And because you are not a resident, if I'm a sailor and I travel 5 months at sea, journeys are a month or two long, I never pray Jumu'ah. I don't pray Jumu'ah on ship. Though we have a full-fledged masjid, we have 200 crew members and passengers and the whole 9 yards. No Jumu'ah for us. Okay, so where did the da'i go wrong? The da'i went wrong when he thought that because he is a traveler and he shortens prayers, that he can skip Friday. And the masjid in that city he is passing through calls for the salat, he moves on. He's a traveler. But if he's staying in a city or a town and they have masjids and they're calling for Jumu'ah, he falls under the ayah إذا نودي للصلاة من يوم الجمعة فاسعوا إلى ذكر الله وذروا البيع. Whenever, O you who believe, the call for Jumu'ah is given, you must abandon trade and walk briskly to the masjid. You have to go and pray. So, yes, a traveler doesn't call others, come, let's pray Jama'ah. We're 50 of us, we're 20 people. No. But if there is a masjid and he is staying in that town, he has to go and answer the call for prayer.